Yes, welcome back. This is F Rap Critic. I'm your boy Malik 16, and no, I don't have a black belt in rap can do, but I got my crew with me. My crew consists of two of the biggest hip hop experts in my life. Y'all saw part one. Y'all know who they are, but I'm gonna reintroduce them. It's my cousin, rapper extraordinaire, Rahim Buffalo's own. Representing the part of our family from Buffalo, and if I'm not mistaken, my brother is originally from New York too, bro. Born where, Doc?
Buffalo.
Buffalo. So
wow,
it's a New York connection. I feel like my cousin just discovered that.
I did. I knew Omar. I believe Omar was, but
Oh yeah, I was born in Buffalo, and then I was in Rochester for about till I was 4 or 5.
wow.
Then
That's new information, man.
Yeah. Then we hit the Garden State, Jersey. Stand up, T-neck in the house.
Good. I'm so glad y'all did. I'm so glad you did.
Oh yeah, Rochester. I heard some things, man. Wow.
Yeah, Rochester is rough. But shout out to New York. Shout out to T-neck. Isley Brothers famously rep that area.
Tri-State.
All right, this is the 35-year-old classic at this point. Long Live the Kane, the debut album by none other than Big Daddy Kane. And if you have not already, take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. You can cop these I Used to Love It t-shirts, which you can't see, but I'll put up some visual of it. And yeah, we're gonna jump into it. It's my brother Doc, it's my cousin Rahim. This is category 2, where we go over the rap performance on the album. And with no further ado, the first dimension in category 2 is dimension 1, personality and charisma. What can we say about the personality and charisma on this album?
That's up there. I mean, he had all of that. Definitely had the charisma, the personality too. I mean, just he's letting you know out the gate, I'm the man, and you know, MCs ain't touching me, and he gonna get busy. He got his chain on. He got the the cameo. You know, it's like coming through, like so.
Yeah.
You know,
sonically, I think it's one of the harder things to do. It's like listening to a good comedy album when you're able to feel like you got the personality on something that you're listening to. You can't even see them, and you get it. And there's certain decisions that Kane makes to let you know that he is like a full presence and not just somebody reciting raps. And it's hard to put your finger on, but he shows you all that. He shows you the swagger on the things that you're hearing.
It's kind of crazy because, like, when he's out somewhere or you know he's performing or whatever, you know he do his thing, but then like you know you interview him and stuff like that, he's you know a whole different person, man.
Yeah, he's mellow. He's real mellow, real serious.
Oh, yeah, laid back. That's crazy.
Very serious. On the track, you kind of get all of that though. It's so weird that you get that he's serious, maybe not to the same degree as like Rakim do it. It's like a don't even smile at me. You know, like there's a Kane, you can smile. He's gonna smile. He smiles on tracks. Like that's what I mean. Like you can hear the smile on certain tracks, but you could also hear the "Don't test me." It's interesting, but it makes you want to listen more. I struggle with describing this because I can't always find the words to describe why some rappers have more of it than others.
It's hard to explain because it's nothing you could teach or anything. It's just you have it or you don't.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
So
it is the thing that makes you want to hear a whole album of a person, let alone other than like, because there's some rappers I don't like enough to hear a whole project. I'll take a couple tracks and we'll keep it moving. And that's the difference. And so having that compels somebody to listen for the entire, no matter how many songs. Like I'll listen to all 20 of your songs because you drew me in.
Yeah.
So what y'all giving this on a scale from 1 to 5 heartbeats, personality and charisma on this album?
I give it a 4.
4.
Like you said, yeah, he definitely gave you a different vibes on certain things, and so yes, I give it a 4.
Gotcha.
I think I'm gonna give it a 5.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I feel like as an MC, like he's got it. Like he just bringing all that swag and
yeah,
the swag. We talked about him kind of in
personality,
kind of kicking the door down for swag rap and well, not swag rap as they categorize it, but rappers with swagger. So and yeah, sounds good to me. Takes us to Dimension 2, the suspension of disbelief or the believability. So we use process of elimination. I don't think this is an album where you're being asked to suspend your disbelief. He's not going into a character. I mean, Big Daddy Kane is the persona, but he uses his own name in the album. He's like, Antonio is the name that was given to me. So he's not pretending to be this like far-fetched character. So then the question is, how much does Kane make us believe him on this album?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Yeah, he's believable. So then from there, what you hear is, what you like. So he's obviously saying what you like to hear, and then you can just go from there. Then like you said, then you go on to the next joint. Okay, that's believable. Okay, so.
We talked in the first video about he does a good job of showing all these different sides of himself and checking off all the boxes. And I think it's not easy. This is where he might have a little bit of superpowers to do that and still be believable. A lot of rappers, they might put a love song in there, but we don't really believe them in that context. Or they might put a conscious song, but it sounds forced. With him, he kind of effortlessly goes into all these different modes of himself, and it's like, okay, this is serious Kane doing a conscious song. And I think that's probably the only saving grace of the Day Your Mind song, is that you believe, at least for the verses, what Kane is talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, I tried in the past, and then I always got skis. Like, he doesn't sound like he's. I compare it. If I listen to I Need Love, I don't believe LL.
Really? Wow.
LL's laying it on too thick, especially if the next song is going to be I'm bad, and then he's like, full of love that I dreamed of, all on my own. He's holding himself, he's hugging himself.
You don't believe he's in the back of the room and
when I'm alone in my room, I stare at the wall.
Back of the mind, man.
It was he got too tender. It was like super tender. Like
he was doing a lot of this though, right?
Right. I'll be waiting. I love you. Yeah, Kane didn't go that far. The singing was a little far, but so.
Oh man.
And like I was saying about the words of the motherland, and even all throughout the album, he sprinkles the 5% language and some of the Islamic teachings there, but not heavy-handed like how when Brand Nubian came out, their whole thing, Grand Poobah was 360 degrees in my cipher, knowledge born guy. Like Kane was just doing it, so it was digestible. It's like, oh, how could this same guy who's talking about wrecking the microphone and shaking and breaking and killing Will and Phil still be this guy that's like, we need to go and learn knowledge yourself? It's like, oh, okay, I can see all of these things.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I
mean, you kind of said it all, Malik.
That
was a whole nutshell right there.
You definitely believe him. He's definitely believable. I was go with like a 4.5. It's it could be some tracks in there you might think you don't know for sure if he really is that optimistic. Was that a song he just wanted to make? Well, I think I'll take you there. Is he really that optimistic? I don't know, but You
I
know,
mean, he says he's like, nah, this is serious, y'all. Another thing I'll point out, his claims, unlike a lot of rappers at that time, his claims aren't outlandish at all. It's not far-fetched stuff. Like,
nah,
his bragging is not even out. He's not doing special ed stuff, right? Like, I got a dog with a solid gold bone.
yeah,
yeah,
He's just
74 Honda scooters.
Yeah, he's keeping it real down to earth with everything he's saying. I ripped the mic. I turned the party out. He's not even talking about taking your girl like that. Like that'd be a popular thing for rappers to say back then.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. He's not on a yacht anywhere. Like I'm impressed with how down to earth he kept his bragging. So I'll also make mention of that. So Ryan, you said on the scale from 1 to 5 heartbeats, you give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I give it a 4.
All right, Doc, what you giving it?
I give it a 4. I give it a 4.
Cool. All right, dimension 3. Now we get into the nitty gritty, the delivery and the use of voice. And I think these are the components here. What I was trying to talk about personality is what he does with his delivery that really shows the personality. That's really everything. So he does. You'll hear Kane, even his ad-libs, right? He'll suck his teeth in the middle of a rap.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say some lines real hard and aggressive, so you really get the point. And then he jokes in the verses. He'll make references to old songs. Like I remember seeing an interview, and he said he was really, really influenced by Rudy Ray Moore. Like,
oh yeah, Dolomite, yeah.
Dolomite's a huge influence, and like Motown. So yeah, he's making references to old songs and the old players that came before him. So like,
he definitely had that respect. I know he liked Otis Redding. You know, he definitely is a throwback to. You know, he respected the craft, man. You know, he respected.
Yeah. In those references, he like changes his whole inflection when he says certain things, like where he's like, "Sexy ladies of the light skin breed, you got what I need." Just changing his voice, or he's like, "Do like Roy Rogers and slow down."
Yeah.
It's those choices. It's animated.
I mean, he said even if I stutter, I could still come off. That was crazy right there.
Yeah. Now he says, and he does it.
He said if I stutter, I would still come off. You can't mess with that, man. That's crazy right there.
It's those extra steps that bring the rap into life. It's like he's thinking like someone who's gonna perform these songs. There's some rappers that think just a recorded version, and there's some like, okay, well, how is this gonna sound when I'm in front of an audience? And he puts in those little parts for the entertainment factor, like, oh, let me change my voice slightly, let me say this like this. And I say all the time, and Rod, you could probably speak to this as a rapper, like that's a separate art. Like, and that's why not every rapper is an artist, if you ask me, because some of us are gonna get up there and just read off paper and just be like, yeah, and I did this and that, and some of them will be like, and I did this with a little bit of that. Like, making those choices is the art.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's another level of MCing that really tapped in. That's why I keep going to that Set It Off, man. That'd probably be my second most favorite Big Daddy Kane song, but like that's just him at his best. Like, can't touch this dude, man. He just all over the track. He switch up his flows, and
so those are your two favorites off the just period, or you got other tracks that you like from other albums?
I gotta really go back and listen. I just listened to Smooth Operator recently. That's a dope one.
Yeah.
But I think ain't no Half-Steppin and Set It Off is probably my favorite Kane joints of all time.
I remember when Smooth Operator dropped. I was with Omar that day. We were in front of the he was meeting with one of his friends, and they're like, "You heard that new joint by Kane? It's called Smooth Operator." And they were like playing it, and we were like, okay, we got to catch the video next time it plays on Video Music Box. Like, it was talked about. Kane, like, yeah, I remember that song now that you brought that up. Warm It Up Kane was always my joint, though. Warm It Up.
Yeah, Warm It Up. It's
And then
hard.
later,
Kane is my favorite.
ooh.
Yeah.
You said which one?
It's hard being a Kane and Young, Gifted, and Black.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Young, Gifted, and Black. Yeah.
There was one. Which album is it where he samples Velvet Default for that?
Dude, I think that's Taste of Chocolate.
I think that is Taste of Chocolate.
Yeah.
And then there was one song that was slept on when he tried to make a comeback. It was called "How You Get a Record Deal." I still play that.
Yeah, that was that Veterans Day? Yeah, I think that might have been.
No, that was looks like a job for.
Looks like a job. Yeah, that was slept on, man.
That was super slept on. But
yeah.
But yeah, delivery. This is also what separated Kane from everybody else that we mentioned who was out at the same time as him. Because I think, Rod, you brought it up in the first video. He wasn't afraid to use humor, but not in a clownish way.
Yeah.
He's still going to be taken seriously. He's just going to slip it in there every now and then. Like, I think in the middle of Raw, he's like, that's all she wrote. But, like, everything else was serious.
Yeah.
That verse. And, I mentioned that other line on I'll Take You There. And he's like, it ain't no joke. But seriously, folks. So he uses his voice in different ways. He's got an aggressive voice. He's got a more lighthearted voice. And then he's got his, I guess everybody who made a love song back then had to like soften their voice and had the lover voice. Part of his stacking is like a progressiveness with it, right? So he'll kind of rap the words like in all pro cameo Afro, like he's building up. He's not just saying them all the same way.
Yeah.
So what y'all giving this for delivery and use of voice?
Delivery is definitely a 5. He's always been one of my faves, so it's biased and I think truthful at the same time. So
Fair enough.
Delivery is crazy, but on certain songs, so I don't know how to judge this, because on certain songs that I don't care for, I don't know how I judge that delivery.
You can factor that in.
Huh?
You can factor that in.
I'll factor that in. I don't know if I could criticize the delivery versus I just don't like that song.
It's probably more the song than the delivery.
Right? So
yeah,
I'm gonna stay with 5, man. So
that makes sense. All right, so that takes us to Dimension 4, everyone's favorite, the flow. Yeah, I mean, Raw and Set It Off, he's just really showing off, man. He's really showing off.
Yeah.
We're not used to, it's 88, not used to hearing a lot of rappers using this many syllables or rapping at this speed. And that, to this day, because it's the norm now, it's still pleasing. This is what I mean when I'm like, could a kid appreciate it in this era? I think they might gravitate toward this a little easier than KRS-One, or Run DMC, because it's a lot of openness with their verses. It might sound too simplistic, but at least this still kind of has a pocket where it's like, okay, he's spitting. He simplifies it on the songs that are less about bragging. So I'll Take You There, and The Day You're Mine. When he spells his name, he speeds up a lot.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, Rod. You a rapper, man. From a rapper's head, you catch a lot of different flows on here, or you feel like there weren't a lot of different flows?
Oh no, it was a lot of different flows. He'll flip it up. I just feel like when he's in his best element is when he's up on that up tempo. That's when he's going faster. I'm not the slow when Kane's slowing down. Those typically not my favorites. He get away with it on Ain't No Half-Steppin, but a lot of times when he's on the slower songs, I don't care for him that much.
He's got the magic number of songs. I don't know how we didn't even talk about that in the first video, but magic number 10. Usually albums with 10 songs, Thriller, Illmatic, you can't go wrong. But according, so yeah, in 10 songs, I think you get enough variety of flows where you know that Kane kills it, and even if it's not even, like 5 here and 5 there, those 2 songs alone make up for all the other flows on the rest of the album.
Yeah.
Set it off. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all right, what y'all giving this on the scale from 1 to 5 for the flow?
What you got, bro?
It's I'm having a problem making the difference between the delivery and the flow. Like,
Yeah, that's why I said let me see what you think.
No wonder y'all was so quiet on this section. Flow is the actual patterns, the rhyme schemes that he's using.
Yeah.
Delivery is how he's using his voice.
I gave him a 5. I'm gonna have to take that back to a 4.5, and then for flow, I'm gonna give him a 5. Because I don't like how he delivered on some of those songs. You see what I'm saying? But his flow, he's flipping it up. He's doing some of the different things with his flow. I gotta
Knock the flow.
I guess I have to give him a 5.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I guess I probably have to say the same thing Cuz just said. I mean, because like you said, certain deliveries is, okay. But the flow is just, the flow is undeniable. So yeah, that'll work for me too. And we can't be on the same page, man.
It's a couple of them we got differences.
Yeah.
So 4.5 for delivery. You changing yours too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 5 for flow.
Right.
All right. That takes us to Dimension 5. Dimension 5 is the wordplay and the bar intent. How intentional was Kane with what he's saying on this mic, and how many clever devices was he using?
Man, it's almost
Off the top. Oh, I mean, he's doing similes, he's doing metaphors. Like I said, he wasn't afraid to be silly, man. Like,
Yeah.
you need a little bit of that freeness in your rappers, and I said in the first video, he set the stage for Biggie and Jay-Z. That's a part of the reason why people love those guys, because they had some of that humor.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid to, like, hey, I'm this hustler, street dude, but Jay-Z in the middle of a rap would be like, nah, you need those little moments.
Ha ha.
Right, all of those things. Biggie would straight up tell comedian jokes in his verses. So, I mean, Kane to say stuff like, so full of action, my name should be a verb.
Yeah.
A lot of rappers would build up to that one line. He had a ton of these.
Yeah.
Sometimes you run the risk when you start trying to reference old songs or commercials, sounding a little corny. Like, some people might think that you got what I need is a little corny, he's doing too much. There's some missteps, like he calls Africa a country.
You ain't gonna be perfect, because like you said, the more stuff you keep saying, they'll find something.
Yeah, like on that same song, I think is where you get his only real 2 missteps. Like, he's like, yeah, let's talk about the country we all come from, and then he says something about, he starts naming colors and he rhymes pink with black is the color that's the most dominant. And I'm like, oh, that don't rhyme, Kane. That's the only time you'll hear Kane not rhyme. But it sounds like there's a lot of intention on what he's saying and how he wants to describe things. So
get the bottom line.
Yeah. I think it was a song like I'll Take You There, and he's got references that are really relevant to the time, like when he's talking about
the wig check.
Your check, the 5, you can spend $5.99 for some Gucci.
Yeah.
You can leave your VCR on the porch. You don't have to worry about nobody stepping on your ballet shoes and shooting the place up.
Man, VCR, wow.
VCR, leave it on the porch. He said crack ain't nothing but a hole in the wall, right? And then,
optimistic, man. Very optimistic.
My favorite is when he says the line about this applies to other nations. Then he redeems himself. He's like, You know, in countries in Africa, he's like, you could be an Ethiopian and eat red lobster for free.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is a guy that clearly means what he's saying and put thought into most of what he's saying. And sprinkling 5% wisdom in between. Spelling out his name is very intentional. Everything has a place. There's nothing that's wasted.
Mm-hmm. The balance, man. You just don't get that as much as you should nowadays, man. You know, so that's the hard part, you know.
Right. What y'all giving this on a scale from 1 to 5 for wordplay?
Wordplay. You said intention too, right? Or was that just wordplay?
It's both. Putting thought into it.
Giving a 5. I could get ill and kill that will. Teaching the skill that's real. You're no thrill or no frill. So just stand still and chill as I build.
I drill until I fill your head up. Teaching to get set up.
Yeah, I gotta give him props for where he didn't rhyme Pink and Dominate. He did manage to rhyme. The only rapper that I can think of who rhymed funeral with who in the world. Like he's like, it'll be your funeral. Who in the world? And did it perfect.
Yeah. He know how to stretch some of that stuff out, man.
Yeah. Doc, what you giving this for wordplay?
Definitely 4.5. Definitely 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You leaving that 0.5 off? Oh, that's
well, you know, I guess there ain't nobody perfect, so but you know, I'm biased.
All right, Dimension 6. We go a little deeper into this. This is the quotability, and that's usually broken up between punchlines and poetic wisdom. Kane does this thing where he has certain punchlines that he wants to emphasize. He wants you to hear it. The beat might cut off just so he can say the line, and then he has some where he just is throwing them at you back to back. So my favorite hidden punchline is he said something, I get skeptic like a girl on a contraceptive. I was like,
but hey, what you expect?
But it's not one of those where he's going to stop the beat. He's going to keep going. But it's like, when you think about it, you're like, oh, the whole point of contraceptive because there's doubt. It's like, no, I don't want it. So it's like, that's clever. That's real clever. But then he's got the more obvious punchlines like, so pick a BC date because you're history.
Mm-hmm.
No. Ain't no half-stepping, you know. I
he got a whole bunch of
half-stepping,
yeah.
He brought up the point about how Kane used the slower flow on it, and I think he did that because that song was probably had the most punchlines.
Yeah, he got a whole bunch.
Yeah, he wanted you to hear everything. So, dope of dog food, butter knife, like Doc was saying, you're just a butter knife, I'm a machete. Yeah, that's the punchline song. That song and just rhyming with Biz.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if rap was a gun, I'd be Clint Eastwood. And if rap was a game, I'd be MVP, the most valuable poet on the NYC. And if it was a school, I'd be a teacher, not a principal. Like, he's just...
Yeah.
I reference Kane a lot because I reference Kane as probably the beginning of punchlines. You know, I know, again, in the early days of rap, we got Grandmaster Cass, we got Kumo D. These are punchline masters. But Kane begins being one of the first rappers to make this a go-to style. Him, Lord Finesse in the 80s, punchlines, and then after we go into the 90s, you know, more rappers are incorporating that in their style too. We start getting like the Big L rappers and the Jay-Z's and the people that like, oh, you know, I'm going to hit you with a lot of punchlines. Poetic wisdom is there. I think it gets overshadowed by how much he's going to give you punchlines on here.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all giving this for quotability? Because I mean, this album's been quoted time and time again.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
But mostly for the punchlines.
Mm-hmm. I give it a 5.
Okay. 5.
Yeah, I give it a 5.
Rahim?
I guess I'm thinking about the other songs where it ain't no punchlines. I don't know if that's even fair.
Well, those are typically the songs where you might get the poetic wisdom, but I feel like it was kind of basic.
Yeah.
I'm going 4.5 right now.
4.5. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard anybody. I don't know if I've heard anybody walk away with like words to live by from Kane. Quote it like that. I heard him asked about that, like why does he feel like he gets enough credit for his conscious rapping, and he said probably not. But he never wanted to be too heavy-handed with it. So
yeah.
All right. Yeah. That takes us to Dimension 7, the concepts. Are there any conceptual things on this album? Any conceptual songs on this album? I would say I'll Take You There is probably the concept song here.
Okay.
It's almost like the original If I Ruled the World. Oh no, nope. I can't say that because If I Ruled the World was Curtis Blow's song before it was Nas. Yeah. And he was talking the same thing. Like, in my perfect world, here's what things would be. And oh snap, yeah, Curtis Blow came before everybody. Curtis Blow, man, I gotta get Curtis Blow on the show, man. His name is never mentioned.
Cool.
Rahim, you keep calling this song optimistic. So that tells me alone that it's a concept song, because you feel like it's not realistic, huh?
Nah. I mean, a lot of those things definitely wasn't, what was happening at the time. He wanted to be to where you can easily afford, these nice clothes and different things like that. So
yeah. I think that's the creative license. That's his creative way of speaking of all the problems of the day by saying, okay, I know this utopia where we can get away from that. So yeah, he's talking about getting away from the violence, getting away from the jealousy, getting away from the poverty and the homelessness. Pretty creative. He didn't have to get creative. He could have just been basic and talked about the stuff, but he wanted to be, and that's the beauty of a concept song. You want to take it from another angle and make people think, or you're talking about a topic that's never been talked about. I saw he talked about, he wrote Picking Buddhas for Bismarcky.
Get out of here.
I heard that.
Wow.
That was crazy to me when I heard that. It's like, you'll never think that's coming from Kane.
No.
Never.
Wow.
I'm going to rap about this make-believe place that we can go to get away from all these real things. That's taking it an extra step to be creative.
Yeah.
But he had the cheat code on there, though.
Yeah.
The sample that was they already broke it down for you.
I'll Take You There, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even that original song was kind of the same theme, right?
Yeah. He just basically put the rap version on it.
Ooh, so does he lose some points for that?
He stole the Staple Singer song and made his own.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so what y'all giving this for concept level?
Ooh. He might get his first, 2 or 3? Yeah.
Yo.
It ain't much concept. I mean,
I was thinking the same thing, man.
You got one song 3. And you got a cheat code on the one conceptual song. So
wow.
I might, to be fair, I gotta probably give it 1.
Whoa.
I can't do that to Kane. I give him a 3.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, we put these two dimensions together. These are the content dimensions. The external content, which is how much is Kane talking about things outside of his inner monologue. How much is he talking about the hood, the world, the ghetto, politics? And then Dimension 9, internal content. How much is he telling you about himself, his story, his autobiographical stuff? So, The Day You're Mine, he's kind of talking from his experience with love, right? I got played in the past. I want to do this right. I'm in love with you, girl. Here's how I feel. So that could be internal. We just talked about I'll Take You There. That's more external. He's rapping to everybody. Like, here's the things going on that affecting everybody. And then Word to the Motherland. Again, knowledge of self. He squeezes a little bit about himself in there. Like, he said the whole thing about having a slave name and I changed it to the Big Daddy Kane. That's about it.
Not much, right?
Yeah, those are probably your three.
It's not a whole lot. This pieces sprinkled.
And then the song about Mr. C, he's rapping about his DJ.
DJ, yeah.
Rapping about where they're from. He tells you he's from Lewis Avenue. So you learn a little bit more about Kane by where he raps. His dances are from Brownsville.
I give him a 3.
For both? For external and internal?
Internal, yeah, it's not a lot. So
might have to give both of them 1.5, so that'll make it a 3.
When I listen to Evolution, for example, your first project, right? You give us man. Like the title track, you talk about your experience. You even tell us by the year, right? You're like 95, 96, this is what happened. Almost lost my focus on, what did you say? Almost lost my focus on chicken heads and Jordans or something. Right? And then, but then you have a song like Wisdom Body where you're just talking about women, like the young ladies, how they present themselves and things like that. Or I think it was just called Wiz. It is Assassinations, which I think that's me and Doc's favorite off of that. They try to assassinate me, God.
Yeah, we gotta get you out there, Rob.
Man. Yeah.
That's what I mean. You've always done a great job of, this is about my personal experience and this is about what I see.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's a 10-song album. I don't know how much room there is for Kane to be like, here's how I grew up. He's not giving you that.
Yeah. Plus, I think he just wanted to make an impact with the, how everything was. He's just coming out just spitting hard,
Yeah, he came out swinging. He just was on a mission to let you know I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
Right.
And as he figured he'll get to the other stuff later.
Yeah, I mean,
down the road, but
this is also where you consider the era. That also wasn't a popular thing to do. People didn't really care so much about. If we said in the first video that he kind of started the trend of you caring that the person matched what they were saying and looked like what they were saying, then we hadn't even kicked the door down until the 90s of really caring. Did they live this life? Let me know more about them. It was more like, how much can you flex, right? So, but he gives us that, like I said, on The Day You're Mine, he's being vulnerable about his feelings and stuff, if you believe what he's saying on that song. And he does tell you a little bit about the importance of knowledge of self to him. So you get something internally, but externally, there's about 2 songs where he's about the world.
Yeah.
So you still doing 3 or 1.5 like Doc said?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that concept. 1.5s and then
for each. Okay.
Yeah.
Doc, what you giving these for 8 and 9? External and internal.
I guess I'll give it a 3.
3 for each, or?
Nah, it's 1.5 on each.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, that takes us to the final dimension 10, storytelling. It's been said that it's not a good album if it doesn't have one good story. I don't know if I believe that or not, but it's a good measure.
Yeah, you have to think of the tracks he got. Is there any really storytelling or just straight spit and fire?
On the bug tip, yeah, they kind of just playing around. That's not really.
The closest you get to a story is The Day You're Mine and I'll Take You There, and it's not really like a beginning, middle, and end. It's more like there's parts of it that's told like a story, and then he just goes into regular rapping. So I don't know. Does he lose points for not having a story? Because I mean, we think.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to drop this album, man.
You're getting some 1s and 2s, man.
Man,
yeah.
I mean, still great album, but when you throw that in there, the storytelling is just. it's lacking there. It's like that's like a 1.5. Again,
Wow, 1.5.
it ain't much there. It ain't much there. I mean, there's just not much there.
Yeah, I mean, it really isn't. You know.
Do we give credit for if it's like a story in one verse? Because I gotta do my second part of Rahim's album, and Rahim, he didn't have any stories on that first one, but on Eric B for President, the second verse, it's a story, right? He took the woman out, thought he was a donut, she tried to glaze him. Do you get credit if a piece of your verse is told in a story format?
I guess you could give some credit for that. You definitely get some credit for it, but I don't take nothing away from Kane because I listen to different artists with different things, but like I can't take nothing from Kane because he don't do a whole lot of that on his album.
So then with the storytelling, if there's no real story here, but how much does that affect the album on a scale from 1 to 5? 5 means no effect, 1 means a lot.
Just to drop it 1, I'll go for 4.5.
Okay.
You know, just to drop it 1.
Gotcha. So Rod, it's still a 1.5.
No effect. But as far as his impact with storytelling, I said like a 1.5 because it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing there. It wasn't much there.
Got it. All right, y'all. That concludes the Category 2 breakdown and analysis of the classic "Long Live the Kane" by Big Daddy Kane. I couldn't have done this without y'all, man. Y'all were there. Y'all know this. Y'all know it well. I've been trying to find a reason to get y'all both on the show forever, so like this lined up perfect, man.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Rahim, are you still making music? Got any music coming out? Or are you still on hiatus?
Oh, no, I'm still making music. I haven't been recording though. You know,
Okay.
so I you know how this rhymes, everything come up every day. Even if I want to turn it off and tell y'all I ain't rapping no more, I'm lying because there's something going on, you know. But it's just when I get back in the booth, I don't know. You know.
Still got to get you my dream is to get you a Griselda feature, man.
That's what I said to him too. I said you got to get over there to Griselda, man. They got that. That'll be perfect for what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That'll be a different change up. That'd be perfect, man.
And they in the age bracket. I think they're about my age, or between my age and your age.
Yeah, I've never got to connect with none of those guys, but it, maybe it'll happen one day. You know, we'll see. You know, but right now I'm not in the mix, man. So
really
I'm not in the mix right now, so they wouldn't know.
So close, but so far, right?
You're right.
Yeah, I'm just glad you're not stopping. I'm glad you know, like what you said lets me know it never kind of stops. Like you said, the mind just keeps working like that. But
yeah,
listen, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much for volunteering your weekend day to do this with me.
Love your family. Love your family.
and salute to Big Daddy Kane. Please don't take nothing personal if we didn't like a couple songs. It's a classic.
Always
you inspired me
as
well as many others.
Yeah,
and, you know, and when you came to Buffalo, matter of fact, Benny the Butcher opened up for him in back in 08. This when people ain't really know him like that.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, he opened up for Kane. Kane did his thing at a little spot downtown Buffalo. So.
Okay.
That's dope. Shout out to the whole Buffalo, New York. Rahim, can you tell them where they can find you on social media?
Instagram, Rahim.MC777, and then we go from there. I got music on SoundCloud, and got 2 albums available for streaming. The Red Pill, produced by Documentals, and what's my other album I put out?
World Burns. World Burns.
As the World Burns. Trophies or Triumphs.
Oh yeah, Trophies and Triumphs.
Trophies of Triumphs.
And As the World Burns.
Feature Tragedy Gaddafi. Shout out to Tragedy Gaddafi.
Yeah.
That's available. So
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Yeah, man. My guests, they always get worried, like how to if they sound like they insulting the artist, man. This is probably the most objective hip hop discussion you're gonna hear out there. Everybody else be online, they be like, it sucks, it's trash. Like we don't do that, man. I don't even give my ratings, as y'all know this. So like, we good. I developed the system so it can be as close to objective as possible, because we all got our biases, but it's like, it really forces you the same way that movie critics have to go back and be like, this Scorsese film is a classic because it checks these boxes. That's how I'm trying to make it for hip hop. I just want to hold hip hop accountable because it gets reckless. So again, I appreciate y'all so much.
Yeah, we got to do some more albums, man. This was great, man.
Yes.
I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna definitely have you back on. I'm gonna have both of y'all back on.
It's fun, man.
We gotta do EPMD. We gotta do a couple albums.
Ooh.
So,
man, I'm getting old, man.
So until next time, y'all know what it is. F a Rap Critic. They talk about it while I live it. Word to meth. Yes.